Hi guys, it's SimLicy here, so welcome to another speed build. So today I am building another cottage here in Hinford-on-Bagley because the latest expansion pack has been cottage living and I cannot help myself but to build a lot of cottages. So that's what I've been doing, but I actually just finished a build outside of this world, which I am very excited to share that one with you guys. It probably won't be up for a few days, but it is outside of this world. So if you guys have been maybe tired of seeing builds here in Hinford-on-Bagley, then maybe you'll be looking forward to that one. But it is another farm, and I'm really, really excited about it. I know I mentioned that the last farm that I did was my favorite build, but this one might be my new favorite. I just think all of my builds are my favorites. I just absolutely love them, and I really love this expansion pack. It has really opened up a lot of just ideas for me and like possibilities with like the farm animals and stuff, and I just love the style of it and I love using the items. And yeah, so hopefully you guys will like this build. As you can tell from the title, I am building it for a grandmother who lives alone, and she lives here on her tiny little hobby farm with her llama and her chickens and wild bunnies and foxes, and she loves the color red and pink, basically all shades of red she loves. And so I went a little bit overboard. I tried to make it look nice on the interior, but I still tried to use a lot of this rosy red color and like other pinks and reds, and I tried to tie it all together without it being too overpowering. So hopefully I did a good job. Hopefully you guys will like it. But of course, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But yeah, the shape of the house has came together and I think it's super cute. I've really been wanting to try out the different color options that have been coming on like the windows and doors. There's some really pretty ones, and I tend to always use like white for my windows and doors. Like I pretty much always gravitate towards white just because I think it looks clean and nice and it goes with everything basically. And these ones still have like a creamy white color for the actual window, but the shutters are red and then the door is red, and yeah, I don't know. I actually just built something using the green swatch, like the bright green, like lime green. And I actually really like that one too. It was a bit more challenging than this one to get like it to feel cohesive and stuff. Something I should mention about this wisteria, I'm using the Live Edit Objects wisteria, and the one that touches the ground, like actually has the roots coming out of the ground. For some reason, it blocks things from being usable. So I couldn't get my sim to use this kitchen, and I couldn't figure out what was causing it. It was that wisteria, so I had to remove it, but thankfully that's what it was because, yeah, I couldn't figure it out, and I was like, why are my things unusable? And so, yeah, it was pretty much just the refrigerator, but that's kind of an essential part of a house to be able to use the refrigerator. And I thought it was the stove, and I was worried that it was like some sort of decoration that I used that was blocking it, and I was going to be really sad. But thankfully it wasn't that. But the wisteria is really pretty, and I like using the ones from the Live Edit Objects because you can actually pull it away from the wall really easily. You could do that with the other one too. You would just have to remove the wall and then, you know, hold the Alt key and place it where you want to, because if you size them up, then it pokes through the walls. And I think it looks a little bit better sized up in most cases. Sometimes it's not always the case, but in most cases, I do think the wisteria looks better when it's sized up one, just to make it look more bushy and overgrown and nice and fluffy, I guess, if that's a description I can use for it. But anyways, here I'm just figuring out the floor plan. I'm laying like a few furniture pieces just to get an idea of how everything's going to be laid out. And I'm really happy that I did this because this floor plan was actually kind of challenging. At least the lower level was a little bit tricky for me because I wasn't sure if everything looked like cramped or if I liked the layout, but I ended up really liking the layout. So yeah, it turned out to be pretty nice. And at first I only have a bedroom and a bathroom space upstairs, but I end up actually making a smaller bathroom and then making a smaller room where the bathroom was going to be. And I turned that into a hobby room because I was thinking, since this is a build for a grandma, I wanted her to be like the classic grandmother. Like she does all of the grandmother things like knitting and sewing and crocheting and of course needlepoint or cross stitching. What do you guys call it? I feel like it can be called needlepoint or cross stitch. I think I would call them either one, but let me know if you guys use any one of those in particular or if you have a different name for it. But anyways, that came in this expansion pack, so I wanted it just to be like a general craft room. Of course, we don't have like crocheting or sewing or anything, which would have been really nice, but I think I made it work, especially using the Nifty Knitting Pack. It came with tons of clutter, with just lots of different like crafting supplies, like not functional supplies, but just decorative supplies, which I absolutely love. Something that bothers me though about that pack is the color scheme. I know it was voted on because it was a community voted stuff pack, like the theme and like the color scheme and like every detail about that pack was voted on. And so I can't be too mad about it because of course more people wanted that color option than, you know, the other ones, but I would have loved a more neutral theme for the colors, just because I feel like the pastels are very hard to use. Thankfully there was a red option, so I made it work in this build, but I find myself like not using that stuff as much because of the color options. Let me know if you guys agree. But anyways, I think the crafting room is really adorable, and I'm happy that I thought to do that because I think it really gave this house like a lot more personality. But anyways, over here you can see I'm figuring out where everything's going to be, like the chicken coop, the animal shed, and then also the garden. The garden I fill with a ton of berries because I figured if I'm going with the whole grandma theme, I might as well fill it with berries so she could grow all of her own berries to make jams and preserves and different jellies and stuff. I thought that was super cute, especially now that canning is a thing with cottage living. So I thought that was pretty perfect. So she's just like the ultimate grandma. She does like all of the baking, the canning, the sewing, just all of that stuff. I think it's so cute and I just love this idea. I've mentioned it, I think, other times when I've done like grandma themed builds, but my grandma is not like this at all. Like she can sew, she does like to do art, but she doesn't like sit there and knit or anything. Like not at all. So, but I do think she would like the way this house is decorated, especially the downstairs bathroom reminded me of her a lot. It's very much like the way her home is decorated. So I thought that was pretty fun. But over here you can see that there's a part of the fence missing. Unfortunately, with this expansion pack, it brought back the fence bug, where if you pull out a gate, it deletes part of a fence. And I don't think I touched a gate to this part. Maybe I did and just missed it somehow, but it removed it. I just left the game and came back in and it was fixed. So you'll see it miraculously be fixed here in just a second. There, it's fixed. All I did was leave the game. So if you ever run into that issue and you can't get it to fix, or you can't fix it, then just leave the game and come back into it and it'll be fixed when you come back in. At least so far, that's been my experience. Hopefully that stays to be the case because that would be very frustrating if it just never fixed itself and you couldn't fix it yourself. So anyways, I'm using this terrain paint that came from Get Together. I used it in a previous build and I thought it was perfect for this whole like cottagey environment. It took me a little while to figure out exactly how I wanted it to like blend in with like the pathways leading to like the animal pen and the garden and stuff, but I think I made it work and I think I made it look natural. Just took a little bit of time. I mean, really not that much time. And I think it looks super cute. I mean, there you can see I was like staring at it for a second. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this? But yeah, I just tried to make it look natural and just kind of organic. I mean, of course it's a pathway, so somebody has placed it there and it's not organic, but I just tried to make it look more natural and like it's supposed to be there kind of. And I think the landscaping definitely helps with that, just adding different like flowers and bushes. Like you can see I have a little dirt spot there where I'll add a couple more plants, and I think it makes it look more like it's supposed to be there than it would otherwise without adding those plants. Let me know if you guys agree with that too. But I just love these plants. I know I've mentioned it in like every single build that I've done, but the debug menu with the live edit objects are just so good and the plants are beautiful. I love the roses, and since I was going with a red theme, I used a lot of red roses. And I use this red table, and I probably never would have thought to pair this red with a brown color, but the legs on this table are brown, and so I paired it with these brown chairs, and I think the combination is so pretty. And so in the kitchen, I actually ended up using a darker color for the cabinets and the counters, and I don't think I would have done that otherwise. And so I think they just, I don't know, they go together so nicely. It reminds me of like strawberries and chocolate. And so yeah, I thought that was really pretty. And yeah, but here you can see I'm moving on to the interior. The first area that I decorate is the garage because I was a little bit intimidated by the interior, knowing that I was going with like a red color scheme. And I don't really know why, because I think the red is really pretty and there's a lot of different like options in the game with like pinks and reds that I thought would go nicely together. But for some reason I was just a little bit scared about decorating it and wondering if I was going to make it work or if I was going to like it at all. But yeah, like I said, I end up really loving it, especially the craft room, and the kitchen and dining room I think are so adorable. But in the garage, I decided to turn it more into like a gardening shed rather than an actual garage. And I don't even know if that car could fit in here. Maybe if there was no decorations, then we could pretend that the Sim could actually pull their car into the garage. But yeah, in here I just place the flower arranging table. I also place the decorative flower table that came from it came from Eco Lifestyle. That's the pack. There's so many different pack names. Sometimes it's hard to remember, but there is one that came with Cottage Living. So if you don't have the Eco Lifestyle pack, then I would recommend placing that one there in its place, or you could use like the washer and dryer in here, or the woodworking table. That would definitely work too. But I do not see this grandmother is being too handy. Like, I imagine she can do some things, but she prefers not to. I do imagine she has like her nails done and she likes to dress nice. So woodworking probably would, well, I don't know. She gardens. Maybe she does woodworking. I just didn't really envision her doing woodworking. I figured she would hire somebody if like things broke around the house, but maybe she does it all. Maybe she's just like super grandma. That's totally a possibility. But anyways, over here is going to be the downstairs bathroom. So in here, like I mentioned, this bathroom reminds me of my grandmother's house. It looks exactly how she would decorate, like especially once I add the shelf above the bathtub. For some reason, just like this curtain, that's so my grandma. So I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it made me kind of miss her because she does live kind of far away from me, but I should call her. But anyways, I think this bathroom is super cute. It's the bigger bathroom of the two. There is two in this build, one upstairs and then this one down here. And so this one definitely has a lot more decorations than the upstairs bathroom, but I really like it. And yeah, that shelf just totally reminds me of my grandma. It's so cute. And also, I think this tile is perfect. It came from Realm of Magic, I believe. I almost said vampires, but it's definitely a Realm of Magic wallpaper or tile, and it came in this really pretty pink color. So I was so happy about that because otherwise I don't know what I would have used. Maybe like a Parenthood tile would have matched probably okay. I think it would have, but either way, I'm so happy that this one exists. And I also paired it with some terracotta tile in more of a pinky shade, which I thought looked pretty cute. And then here I'm figuring out the wallpapers for the rest of the build. The main like living area was so hard to figure out a wallpaper. I really wish that the patterned one came in more of a, like the pattern one that came in this expansion pack. There's of course the flower one that I'm using, but the other one with a really pretty design on it doesn't come in a like red or pink option. I think only the wainscoting has like a red tone to it in one of the options, and it's like a bright red. It's not this dusty rose red. So it kind of threw me off a little bit because some of the options with this expansion pack have the more like dusty pinky rose color, and other options have like a bright red, like brighter than the table that I have in the kitchen, like even brighter than the cushions on the chairs. And so yeah, I found those ones pretty much impossible to use, but the other options I definitely found places for them, and I found them really easy to use. And I think the flower wallpaper actually looked so pretty, and I think the wallpaper that I end up using in the main living area is the one that came from Realm of Magic. I think I had it out for just a second, but yeah, I tried some like base game wallpapers. I tried finding one from this expansion pack, and I kind of just gave up on it, and I was like, I will revisit it later and I will find something that works. But I really liked putting this table here in the center of the kitchen. I've done this recently in another build, and I think I might have done it in one other one too. Yeah, I think the farm that I shared also has the same table in the center, but I think it looks so cute instead of actually having an island. Of course, this kitchen is way too small to have an island, but it looks really cute just to have the table with the tablecloth and then clutter it up with different decorations. I used the casserole dish that came in the country kitchen kit. I put that on there, and a cookie jar and some flowers, and just tried to make it feel so just grandma-y. And that casserole dish came in a pink color, so that was like absolutely perfect. And I think this kitchen is just absolutely adorable, and I think the brown just works so nicely. Like I said, originally I would have probably gone with the white option, and I'm really happy that I realized that that table came with dark brown legs, because I think like the chocolatey brown color with the red, just it works really nicely. And then over here is of course the dining room. The dining room is a bit crowded, so I did actually have to pull the table closer to the window by the front of the house just to get my Sim to walk through it, because she had a little bit of a routing problem. but I was like not going to replace this table. So I made it work when I was playtesting it. And I think that dining room is so cute. I especially like the decorations on the table. I used that chicken decoration. It came in a red option, and then that picture is also really adorable. But here you can see I'm playing around with the wallpapers, trying desperately to find a wallpaper, but I ended up going with this one that came from Realm of Magic. It's a nice option because it's cream and it goes with everything, and it feels like it belongs in a cottage. So I was really happy about that. But over here is going to be the entryway. So in the entryway, I have a coat rack. I have that umbrella stand, some shoe clutter, a plant, and then I decorate this little table, and I have a mirror above it, and I put some gardening gloves and some flowers. I thought that was so adorable. And yeah, it's just a nice simple entryway, not that exciting. And also these curtains that I'm using came from the Paranormal Stuff pack, and they are perfect for this build. In the main living area, like throughout the house, I just use them in this white color, but in the bedroom and in her crafting room, I use it in more of like, I think one of them I use it in a red option, or like it's more of like a pink than a red. It's like the color of that lampshade. What color would you call that? Probably like a rose, right? That's what I would think. But anyways, the curtains come in that color and then also a pink option. So I use the pink in the bedroom and then the rose color in the crafting room. It looks so, so pretty. But here on top of the fireplace, I cluttered it up with tons of clutter, and I think it looks super cute. I ended up going into the debug menu and pulling out some of those cross-stitching displays that don't have any patterns on them. You can find a ton of different options in the debug menu without patterns, and I think they actually look really good blank for some reason. Let me know if you guys agree. But if you shift click on the cross-stitching box, then you can actually fill your Sims inventory with every single pattern. So I don't know if it's because I did it this way without actually having my sim make them. I don't know if it makes a difference, but I did that, and then I decorated the top of the mantle with those, but unfortunately if you pull those off of a surface, then they go flat. They just lay flat on a surface. They don't actually keep their stand, and so I had to put them on a base game table and then raise that table up till they were at the right level, and then I used the tool mod to make the table disappear. So the fireplace still functions and you won't see them, but if you're wondering how I did it, that's how I did it. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm not sure if it does, but of course, let me know that too. But thankfully I was able to make it work because I really wanted to have some of her cross-stitching displays like on her mantle because she's proud of them and she wants to display them, and she doesn't want to just leave blank ones up there, even though I think the blank ones actually look surprisingly cute. I do like them. But over here by the staircase, it took me a little while to figure out exactly what I wanted to put there. I think I just leave that plant there and don't add anything else. I changed that chair in the corner to the one that came from Cats and Dogs because it came in a really nice color option, and I felt like I needed a taller chair. I also have a rocking chair in there. I thought that looked super cute. And then up here on the landing area, I actually ended up doing the piano trick that I did in my most recent build. In case you guys missed it, I merged two tables together, or two side tables, whatever you want to call these, and the keyboard together, and it totally functions. I've done this before in the past, but in case you have ever missed it, this does function this way, and it actually looks really good. I'm hoping that at some point we will get a regular standing piano with a pack and I won't have to make them myself, but even though I have to make them myself, I think they look really good. I also end up adding some of the cross-stitching patterns up here, so you will see those in the screenshots. But this time I was able to hide the table that I put them on, and I didn't shrink it. So if you want to take this piano apart and see how I place the cross-stitching patterns, then you can see it there. But yeah, I think the landing area looks really nice. But over here is going to be the upstairs bathroom. So it's very simple, very similar to the downstairs one, just a smaller version of it, so it doesn't have as many decorations, but I think it looks really nice. And I think this base game shower actually works perfectly because of course it comes in a pink option, so it fit my theme. And yeah, I think it looks really adorable. But this is going to be the crafting room. So this crafting room, it's very small. If you wanted to make it bigger, you could probably actually move part of the bathroom into the bedroom a little bit and make the bedroom just a little bit smaller. But I didn't mind that it was so small, and I was able to make it work. I have a desk in here, a side table, and tons of clutter. Like I really tried to make this crafting room feel like used and detailed, like this sim is in here all of the time working on projects. And I was finally able to use that that little loom that has like the weaving pattern on it. Why am I'm like forgetting words for everything today. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am struggling coming up with words. My brain is completely broken. But I thought that looked really nice, and I never get the option to use that because I never have the space for it, but I thought it looked really good there. And then yeah, other than that, I just cluttered it up with tons and tons of different stuff. And I think this wall display that came with Nifty Knitting actually works really nicely too, because it has tons of detail and has crafting supplies on it. And I think it looks so good in here. And I think I pretty much used everything that would fit in here from that pack. Of course, there's like some larger shelves and I think another desk option, but they were way too big for this room. But I think I made it work. And I found a color option, like I said, that worked really nicely. A lot of the colors that came in this game pack or stuff pack has very pastel colors, like pastel pinks and blues and greens and yellows, and it's really cute. But yeah, I wish that there was more neutral options. Thankfully, there was this red option, which is actually pretty neutral. And this shelf also came in that stuff pack too. And so I cluttered it up, adding tons of detail, and I think it looks really adorable. And don't these curtains like match this wallpaper? Like they're almost the same color. Like it's almost like they blend into the wallpaper. They match so nicely. And then I used that laptop that came with the Dream Home Decorator pack because it came in a red option too. So I thought if this grandma was gonna have a computer, that's the one that she would have. But over here is going to be her bedroom. I used this new bed that came from Cottage Living in the pink color. And then I used the lighter version of the flowered wallpaper and then the pink curtains. And I think it looks so adorable. I really wanted to fit a fireplace in here, but the fireplaces are pretty big. Actually, I probably could have used the one that came from Eco Lifestyle because that's a small fireplace. I'm hoping that we get different fireplaces because a lot of them are generally like the same. I mean, they're different designs, but like the overall structure of them are kind of the same. But in here, I used that same chair that I used in the living room that came from Cats and Dogs. I thought that looked really nice. And then I just cluttered up the walls with a few decorations. I also used this vanity dresser that came from the Cottage Living pack, and I cluttered up the top of it with some makeup and a candle and a few other decorations that I thought looked nice. But yeah, this is basically it though. I think that I just add like the final few decorations here in this bedroom. I add some artwork to the walls, and then we'll be going on to the screenshots. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I hope you guys are looking forward to more cottages. I do have another one coming up very soon that's like a small family farm. And then I have the other one that I just finished that's outside of this world, but it's also a farm. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to that one, and hopefully you guys enjoy the screenshots. So thank you so much for watching, and please leave any comments or suggestions you have, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye!
Though I felt misunderstood, it was a pleasure running away with you. We were just children acting like a doll, crazy, naive, bold and carefree. We were kids having kids, crazy, naive. It amazes me that we didn't fall apart harder than we did. Now they keep us on speaking terms. We grow and we learn. I have no regrets, only forgets. Oh, a big thank you to life for giving us sand. Oh, when the timing's right, there's no wasteland. Oh, we were just children acting like a dog.